When evaluating potential ERP systems for your organization, it can be easy to get lost in analysis paralysis in evaluating all types of functionality that may not matter in terms of differentiating different systems in the marketplace. So what I want to talk about today are the top 10 differentiators of different ERP systems in the marketplace to help you understand where to focus your evaluation efforts in your ERP selection process. My name is Eric Kimberly. I'm the CEO of Third Stage Consulting. We're an independent consulting firm that helps clients through their digital transformation journeys. And one of the key things we do for our clients is help them choose ERP systems for their digital strategies and roadmaps. And when evaluating ERP systems, many organizations want to look at every nook and cranny of an ERP system to understand every possible thing that ERP system can do. And the reality is, if you do that, you're going to get lost in the analysis. It's going to take you forever to get to a decision, and you may never feel comfortable with that decision. So what I want to talk about today are those top 10 things that really differentiate the different systems in the marketplace, so that those criteria that I'm going to talk about that do apply to you, you know that you can focus on those areas and maybe less time on some of the other areas that aren't included in this top 10 list. If you're a capital or asset intensive organization, enterprise asset management is something that's probably important to your organization. And asset management is not common necessarily in all ERP systems, but the ones that do have it generally can provide functionality that are going to enable your asset management functions. So things to think about here is how you manage depreciation of assets, how you identify what assets need maintenance or repair, or what assets need to be replaced, how the financial implications of your asset management are going to look. All those things are things that you want to really hone in on if you're an asset or capital intensive company, because that is something that's probably going to differentiate and help you eliminate a lot of ERP systems in the market that aren't relevant to you. Now, another function that is a big differentiator among ERP systems in the market is field services. So if you have crews that are doing work and capturing data in the field, for example, if you're a utility, a construction organization, for example, those are organizations where you probably have field services crews, people out doing repairs, doing maintenance, doing some sort of work out in the field, and you need to capture that data. Now, a lot of ERP systems, probably most ERP systems, don't do that function well. So if you can really hone in on those that do field services well, that'll allow you to narrow the playing field a lot more quickly. Now, in addition to the work that's being done within field services, you want to look at time reporting and cost tracking and all those sorts of functions that tie back to field services. But in general, this is an area to think about as you evaluate your ERP system. When it comes to business intelligence, not all ERP systems are created equally. Some ERP systems have great reporting functionalities, others don't. Some have robust business intelligence tools and ways to handle predictive analytics and other sorts of data analysis tools, and others don't. So really understanding what those capabilities are is something that is going to differentiate and help you narrow down the playing field within the ERP space. If you're a make-to-order or engineer-to-order manufacturer, then the whole configure price quote function is something that's a big differentiator for ERP systems. In fact, that's a big hang-up that a lot of organizations have when they're trying to deploy new ERP systems. So if you're not familiar with configure price quote, it's a function or a module within ERP systems that allows salespeople to configure orders or configure proposals that meet certain technical specifications and criteria. So if you have different components that could be assembled into semi-custom or custom products for organizations, you need to make sure that your sales reps are out there selling things that can actually fit together from a technical perspective. So the CPQ module is a way to help the sales reps understand what they can and can't sell based on technical specifications. It also helps them price and cost what those proposals might be. And ultimately, when the sales reps close a deal, it helps those configurations flow straight through to manufacturing so that you have a seamless flow from sales all the way through proposals, quote, and ultimately a work order that then needs to be manufactured. So that CPQ function is extremely important. It's something you really want to drill into if it's relevant to you, because like I said, most ERP systems don't do that very well on their own without some sort of bolt-on system. Now, if you're a manufacturer, you want to look closely at what sort of shop floor automation or manufacturing execution technology is available within your software provider. This is especially true if you're trying to automate not just general flows of goods within manufacturing in the warehouse, but also within the shop floor, within different job shops, different stations within your manufacturing shop floor. If you want to be tracking at that granular level, you need that sort of manufacturing execution capability that not all ERP systems have. Now again, most ERP systems have general inventory management capabilities. That's not the issue. The issue is what happens on the shop floor and how much data are we capturing and how much visibility do we have on the shop floor from station to station throughout the manufacturing process. So if you are a manufacturer, be sure you fully understand what those manufacturing capabilities are, because there's a lot of ERP systems out there that don't handle that capability very well. Now, if you're a high volume distributor, if you're doing high volumes of consumer products or widgets or low cost types of things that you're selling in volume or in bulk, you'll want to look at the capabilities that are specific to high volume distributors. For example, when you look at warehouse management, a lot of high volume distributors we work with use cross-docking to get goods in and out of the warehouse as quickly as possible, but not all warehouse management modules within ERP systems can do cross-docking. That's just one example of what a high volume distributor might need, but you want to look at those things that make your warehouse management functions unique to you. You want to look at those things that are really important to keep that velocity in your supply chain and allow you to fulfill customer orders quickly, and look at those capabilities that enable you to sell high volumes of goods. Those things can be big differentiators for ERP systems in the marketplace. If you're an organization that values project management and costing, that's going to be an area you really want to dig into. A couple industries that come to mind would be aerospace and defense, organizations making large, really complex, multi-year products, things like airplanes, for example. That takes years to build. There's a lot of project management that goes into that, a lot of different parts and materials that have to go into that product. Another example is construction. When you're building an apartment or a residential home, whatever it is, the construction that you're building, you need to have project management capabilities that can help manage projects, not just at the task level, but also at the resource level, the material level, the costing level, all that stuff. And if your ERP system doesn't support that capability, it's going to make it very difficult for you to manage that function, which is a core part of your operations, I would assume. And you don't want to be having to use Microsoft Project to manage projects and then re-entering data back in your ERP system, because that defeats the whole purpose of having an ERP system. So the more you can dig into that area to make sure that the project management capabilities, the costing behind it, the resource allocation, the more you can understand that that is a good fit for your organization, the better off you're going to be. Another thing to consider and really hone in on is the user interface. A lot of times we get so enthralled with the functionality and the workflows that we forget to look at how easy is this system to use just in general. What do the menu structures look like? How easy is it to navigate? How many screens do I have to go to complete certain transactions? That's all something that varies quite significantly across different ERP systems in the marketplace. Now, it's not just a matter of picking the ERP system that has the best user interface or the one that your team likes the best, but it may also be that you want one that's going to be the easiest change for people. So if you're going from an old green screen where you're still used to entering 4-digit transaction codes, for example, that's going to be more difficult for you to change to a completely modern ERP user interface. So as part of your demo and evaluation process, be sure that you're taking a close look at what that user interface looks like and how well you think your employees might be able to adapt to that user interface. If you're an organization that has a big repair function or a maintenance function, or an MRO function as many organizations call it, you want to make sure you hone in on that area, because again, a lot of ERP systems don't do this well. And when we talk about maintenance and repair, a lot of it could be related to predictive maintenance. So trying to figure out what needs to be maintained in advance of it actually breaking. So for example, a lot of utilities, gas and electric utilities, will have maintenance organizations that go out and fix assets in the field. And they can either wait till stuff breaks or just do things on a time basis, or they can use AI and machine learning within their ERP system to help them figure out what assets are most likely to need maintenance first. Same with repair as well. If you have a repair organization that's doing repairs for customers and or for your own internal customers, you want to make sure that you have evaluated that process and that workflow, and that all the processes that relate to that area are strengths of the ERP system that you're choosing. If you're an organization like a bank or an insurance company or any other organization where you have very robust document workflows, So documents that you need to track along the way, you want to make sure that you have the capabilities to handle that. A lot of organizations have ERP systems that don't do document management well, so they end up trying to force fit a document management solution on its own and or something like a Microsoft SharePoint to help fill that gap. But there are ERP systems out there that have embedded within the systems that document management and that ability to collaborate and share documents and have documents pass through a workflow as part of your core ERP system. So it's really important that if document management is important to you as an organization, that you hone in and evaluate ERP systems that can handle that function the best. Now, if you're looking for more information on the types of vendors you should be considering or who some of the best vendors are out there in the ERP space, I encourage you to download our Digital Transformation Report. It's an annual report we put out each year that includes independent software rankings and reviews, as well as other digital transformation best practices, which are intended to help you be more successful in your ERP and digital transformation journeys. In addition, I've included a number of other links and resources below that I think will help you in your ERP selection and implementation process, so I encourage you to check that out as well. So I hope you found this information useful. Hope you have a great day.